Caddis Maximus here. Figured I might as well do a video of this. This is the Harbor Freight's little triangle emergency light. It has a set of red, normal array light in the middle, and then of course a flashing mode. This is always the light that I thought Harbor Freight should be giving away for free instead of those blue things. Because quite frankly, even though the blue things are neat, it seems this is probably just a little bit more expensive, but is certainly a lot more useful. Something like this flashing red light could actually potentially help keep somebody safe when they're changing a tire, say on the side of the road and it's dark and rainy. Really think that this should have been the light the Harbor Freight gave away for free. $4 light, normally on the shelf. It has a magnet to stick to things, but unfortunately it's just a little bit flush and maybe not too strong, so it doesn't stick super well. Even like on a file cabinet, kind of wants to slide down, even though it does have a little articulating hook, just like the little blue one. I kind of like these lights. I have a few of them. I reviewed this PT Tool one, where I think this is a knockoff of another more commercial brand, but this thing's kind of neat because it's just a bit more advanced. Let's turn off this light here so we can just get a little bit better look. I'll even go outside to show how bright it is, but this thing's really not too bad at all. We can actually see that. And of course, the little utility light's just fine. I like these little kind of lights, and surprisingly enough, I do like this one a little bit better just because it flashes and it's more of a stick. But I remember the last time, it's actually been a couple years, but I like to drive around in the snow, at least when I had a vehicle that was better. And once came up upon some people who had slid off the side of the road, and it was actually pretty difficult to see them, as well as myself, and put these markers out, and then called emergency services, and they were able to find me nice and easily. So that's one of the reasons I like these things, is when you put them on your vehicle, it makes it easy to see. But as you can see, this PT Tool one's really neat. I think the Harbor Freight should have actually started selling these things, just because they have so many other neat modes versus this, which is just flashing. But really, overall, it's not too bad. And I always encourage people to have these kind of little emergency lights. Let's do a quick look outside just to get an idea of how bright it is, maybe compared to these others. Here's a little example just showing that it is pretty decently bright, and I'll just compare to those other two. As you can see, the stick light and the way it flashes is just a little more eye-catching. I think the Harbor Freight's flash rate's just a little bit too slow. And here it is compared to that puck-type emergency light. We can see it in its circular mode. Still not too bad, but could be better. And then here's another view of just with it on its strobe mode. So as you can see there, this light, I think really for $4, a lot of people should have these in their vehicle, because that flashing red in a rainy night on the side of the road, I read articles all the time where people get, hit. And something like this really could save somebody's life. As cheesy as it sounds, it's true. It's getting a hold of somebody's attention. A flashing red light really makes somebody take a quick look at what's going on. And even hazard lights, it's a different deal with, like, if somebody's hazard light's going in, a flashing red light kind of triggers that somebody's in distress, kind of like emergency vehicles. It's one of the reasons they use red lights. Anyway, I'll go ahead and open this up. Surprisingly enough, this little light is built marginally, not a lot better, but it is built better than the blue lights. And I did want to show that here. Pull out these screws here. It's not waterproof. It doesn't have any seals. It does have a rubberized button cover, so that at least doesn't get too beat up. It's kind of funny inside here. We can see where it looks like the plastic reflector's been broken away. But no, apparently it was this reflector and designs used in some other kind of light. So to make room for these little posts, they just broke off the edges. So I thought that was just a little bit funny. But we can see the whole battery compartment's actually screwed down with 4 screws. And there's actually little brass metal inserts into the plastic here. So I was really surprised to see that. I think being a hazard light, it's actually built just a little bit better, because more than likely it's going to end up hitting the ground a few times. So anyway, this is a great coupon item, and for the reason I would recommend it is just because it's a pretty easy to find and cheap emergency roadside hazard light, and You can get it, with the coupon, super cheap to go on sale too for like around $3. Normal price is $4, and it could actually prevent some kind of an accident. And a lot of people don't think about safety until it's too late. It's really a sad fact. Anyway, I really appreciate everybody watching and subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Until next time, Catus Maximus out.